Hey, welcome to Living the Dream. This is host Rodney Middleton, and I have a special guest with me this evening. She is none other than, I call her family and friend. It is Lori Ray, Lori Sunshine Ray, and she is here with us on this evening, and she's going to share with us. And so, listen, I'm excited. Do me a favor. We want you to hit comment, share, let us know where you're listening from and everything of that particular nature. But go ahead and hit the share button to your profile. Tell your family and friends. If you're in a group, share it to the group. Let your family and friends know, hey, how you doing, Brother Caven? Let them know that they want to tune into tonight's broadcast. I promise you, they will not be disappointed. All right, we got somebody in chiming in already from Richmond, Virginia, the RV area. So, hey, listen, we're totally excited, and so Lori, she is a phenomenal individual. She is a licensed minister. She is a certified life coach. She is a bona fide author. We got Philly in the house. She's a bona fide author, and she is a screenwriter. So we got somebody real legit and authentic with us this evening. So without further ado, I introduce to you my friend, Lori Ray. Lori, tell the people about yourself, and then we'll get into your project and everything like that.
Thank you so much, Pastor Middleton. It is my pleasure to be with you tonight. People may not know that you are my mentor. So I am your student, and the student is happy to be with the teacher tonight. I am Lori Ray. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a glam mom. I'm an author, screenwriter, motivational speaker, success coach, all those things. Praise the Lord.
I love it.
And I'm happy to be here with you tonight. Yes, I am.
I'm excited. Just your son is chimed in. Brandon is Brandon is good. I think that's my nephew. So listen, you are an author.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the books, because it's not just one book. Let's talk about your books. Tell the people the title of your book, give them a little background into it, and then let them know how they can get a hold of that book.
Okay, the title of my book is called Shinespiration, which means to allow your inner light to shine. It's a 21-day devotional to encourage people that are stuck, to encourage those that are sitting on the sideline, to encourage those that are saying they're too old, to get back in the game. You're not too old, and how to get unstuck, to give yourself permission to shine and become the best expression of you. If I could just sum my book up in that, and that's what it is. And here it is, if you can see it. So you can get the book on Amazon, Lori Conway Ray, or you can get, if you want an autograph book, just DM me on Facebook.
All righty. So let me see. I think that's me for a second. Let me turn my volume down.
Okay.
I get a little feedback sometimes.
Okay.
So you all heard that. You could DM her on Facebook, and I tell you, it's an amazing gift. And I promise you, this is Monday. Some of you all, I would get in contact with her tonight and order it tonight, an autographed copy tonight, and you could get it in time for Father's Day to give to a father, an uncle, a son, a nephew. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you get this book tonight and sow it into the lives of others. I promise you, it is a 21 day. Now, I always say the significance of 21 days. 21 days is the time that we use to change, to give ourselves a new habit. And so, since we want to give ourselves a new habit, people say, I want change in my life. Now, I don't know about y'all coming out of this COVID-19. This is one of the ideal books to have, because it will allow you to recondition your thinking and recondition your plans and purpose for the next 21 days. And so definitely go to her inbox, direct message her, let her know you're interested in an autograph copy, and she will tell you how to get your copy of the 21-day devotional. Now, this 21-day devotional, it has a planner as well, doesn't it?
That's correct. There's a yearly planner. It's a weekly planner, but it's to the end of the year. It's a chance for you to not to write down your plans, not just think about them, not just talk about them, to write them down, look at them, and start to work your plan. So that was the purpose of the planner. So every day there's a day to write in there. And then at the end of the month, there's a what did I do right or what can I do better?
Mm. Now, that's good because you get a chance to check on yourself on what you do as opposed to someone checking on you. Listen,
Exactly.
because Shinspiration has really taken off and grown, she has apparel that's a part of her company, or excuse me, her movement, because that's what I believe Shinspiration is, not just a company, a movement. So hold up your shirt and let them know. They can inbox you too. Look at that. Born to Shine. Now that's a message and a half right there. And once again, for those that might have missed Mother's Day during COVID-19, it's an ideal time. Get the shirt from her, pass it on to your wife, let them wear the message. When people know that you were born to shine,
Yeah.
that's a message by itself right then and there. So so Minister Lori, we talk about the book. We talked about the book. The book is an amazing book. The planner is amazing because of what it gives individual. But let's talk about your journey. Let's talk, because I believe your journey is so intriguing that I really want everybody. Hold on, your son said you didn't tell me you had a shirt.
He wasn't listening.
You wasn't listening. Also, someone else said they need theirs too. So we're gonna chime them in how to get this. But let's talk about your journey. I love your story and I love the journey and how it is. And so right now you have carte blanche to share as much as you want about your journey, man.
Okay, in order for me to share about my journey, I have to talk about investing in yourself. Because had I not invested in myself 2 years ago when you became my mentor, when you offered the success coaching class, had I said, well, I can't afford to do that. It's just too much money, and I decided I am going to take this leap of faith, and because I invested in myself, I am now an author. Had I not invested in myself, there would be no author, Lori. There would be no success coach, Lori. There would be no screenwriter, Lori, because all of that came from my initial investment. So if I could talk about anything tonight, I want to encourage the listening audience to take the time and invest in themselves. And I know people say, well, I can't afford. Those are two things that you're here when you say invest. It's an effort. It's going to cost too much, or you're going to get an excuse. You're going to get, it's like the word investment gives a negative connotation, like it's going to require me to do something. But had I not done that, the initial investment, but there are reasons, and hopefully we'll discuss hindrance to people invested in it. What could cause a person to invest in everybody else? We support everybody else except for ourselves. So what could it be? And I'm gonna have to use myself for an example, because some people think that because we're here, we're talking, you're interviewing me, that well, you don't have that to worry about. But everybody has a story. It's just a different story. And my story started back. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. You could probably tell by the accent. And where I grew up across the street from the largest project. One of the largest projects in Charlotte was called Earl Village. And at the time, it was mostly single mothers. I was fortunate enough to have her dad in our apartment, but it was mostly single mothers, and we were low income. We were low income. I even thought that it was a great thing when you got free lunch at school. I thought, oh, I get free lunch at school. I didn't know that we got free lunch because we couldn't afford to pay a full lunch. But, so I had a mentality that initially I didn't know I was poor because everybody around me was low income. And that should, I want to encourage people to check out your friends. If you're not growing, if you're stagnated, maybe you need to check out your friends, because everybody around me was low income. So that was the norm. And I didn't know that I was poor or low income until I moved to the suburbs. And when we moved, there were 2-car families, they went on vacations. And then I was like, oh, I'm poor, oh, we low income, But what that did to me is made me compare myself to others. And you've been teaching on that lesson about comparing yourself to others. So, and I was about in high school, when we moved to the suburbs, but it made me compare myself to others, and I felt less than. I felt like they were better than me because, they were going on vacation. Our vacation was, when I was growing up, when school was out, you go to South Carolina and stay with your grandmother until school started again. So I had what we call stinking thinking. I thought that everybody else was better than me, that, they had more than me. I mean, they were debutantes, and I'm like, well, what's a debutante? They had all this stuff to me, and I compared myself to others. So it hindered me. So I'm probably going to say that a lot of reasons why people don't invest in themselves is because they have compared themselves to others. They don't think they can do it. They don't think they deserve it. And you could tell you can't take a compliment. I mean, I was all of that. I could compliment everybody, but when it came to me, I didn't think I deserved a compliment. Like, why they compliment? It felt weird. It felt weird because I had stinking thinking, because I had been programmed to think, you had free lunch, you live across the street from the project. I might as well have been in the project. It would just so happen our apartment complex was across the street from the project. But, so if you don't change your way of thinking, you will be programmed to think that you're not good enough. Everybody else is better than you, look better than you, dress better. Then you'll start to overcompensate. You'll start trying to do things, dress better and have the best nails, the best makeup, the best clothes to overcompensate for the lack of you, because you compared yourself to other people. And we don't know their condition, but we've compared ourselves to other people. They could be lacking, they could be overspending, but we have compared ourselves to other people. So I would encourage our listening audience to invest in yourself. Why would you go on an operating table with a surgeon that have not invested in school, that have not taken the time to open up the medical books? Would you drive a car where the mechanic has not studied? You get in there and your tires rolling down the road. You looking like Fred Flintstone because everything falling apart. You stopping the car with your feet. I mean, we will invest in everybody else. We don't mind giving our money to the mechanic, and we don't mind giving our money to the doctor. But what about you? What about the things that the Lord, and thank God that I said yes to Jesus. What about the things that the Lord has given you? You matter. I know we're talking about Black Lives Matter, but this is what I'm saying. You matter. You matter. There are things for you to do. I would read the scripture in Psalms 92:12, and it talks about the righteous flourish like a palm tree. And the palm trees are known for longevity. They live a long time, and they're tall and they're strong. And people say, "Well, I'm too old," but I got a scripture for you too. It says that the age will be, the older people will give fruit. They will bear fruit. So if we're going to live long, we might as well be strong and carry out the vision that the Lord has given us. we might as well do something about it. So whether you want to call it investing, supporting yourself, being nice to yourself, if that makes you feel better with the word being nice to yourself, invest in yourself. Because like I said, had I not, and the thing about it, when I invested in your course, I was the only student. Do you remember?
Sure do.
I was the only student, but I was like, I showed up every week. I did my assignments because I knew that I wanted to make a difference. I had a dream. This is your type of your show. It's called Living the Dream. I had a dream that I wanted to be an author. I didn't know how to go about it. And for so long, I was afraid of yes. You've heard this before, but most people are afraid of no. Because no, it's easy. Like, okay, well, I can't do it, but you said no. But when you say yes, then you have to own it. Then it becomes yours. Then you like, okay, now I got to say something. So I was afraid, and I know God has not given us a spirit of fear, but I was afraid of yes. I was afraid, what if I tried to write that book? Nobody would buy my book. It wouldn't be popular. And I came up with, but until I said yes, I wouldn't even write it on paper because I knew if I wrote it on paper, I was going to be responsible for it. But soon when I took your class, and that's the mark of a good mentor, a good coach, because you asked me the question. You gave me to say, well, what about this? Well, where do you see yourself going? And, and then I had to tell the truth. Well, I want to be an author. I wanted to be an author. So it's important to invest even in a mentor. Even you're not the smartest person you know. You need a mentor. You need somebody that can pour into you, can hold you accountable. And that's what you did. You asked me to write questions, and finally I wrote down on the paper, I want to be an author. And when I did that, that's when everything started opening up. That's when everything started. But until I said yes, so some people listening, you just need to say yes. I am whatever it is God told you you are. Yes, I am an author. And then you helped me publish my first book. And I was like, okay, I'm good. I've checked that box. But then I invested in myself again because I said, Lord, I want to write movies. I want to write screenplays. I want to make movies. Then when I invested in myself for that, everything started opening up. Now I have like 2 4 scripts. My treatment have been pitched at networked. Like this is in a year, less than 2 years. But because I said yes, and because I decided that I am good enough to invest in me. But I don't compare myself to others anymore. My mind is programmed for victory. That you have to reprogram your mind. Now my mind is programmed for victory, and I don't apologize for who I am. This is me, unapologetic, and that's the way it is. And so you have to decide that you're going to accept you as yourself. You're going to be you. Matter of fact, I just posted something this morning and said, be you. Everybody else is taken. You're the best you can be. I mean, so why not be the best you? If you're gonna rise, you might as well shine. Just like the sun. If you're gonna rise, you might as well shine. You can chime in because I got fired up now.
No, you are knocking it out of the park. And because what I want others to kind of to kind of get this too, is that you never talked about where you were in life to say yes. We didn't talk about where we were as far as age or any of those things to say yes. You just knew that the opportunity, because I know you remember this. I believe we talked about screenwriting before we talked about book writing.
Probably.
Sure. You told me that that's what you wanted to do. I'm like, okay, she's gonna do that. It's what happened. When we checked the book off about getting the book done, and you now, number one, here's the things you checked off. You checked off the coaching.
Yeah.
You became a certified coach.
Yeah.
You checked off the author. You became a legitimate author, a Amazon author, and a self-published author.
Yes.
You became that. You started checking off the list of things that you wanted to enact and become without even considering failure in any of it.
Because to me, failure is not an option anymore. If it didn't work, I got to go back and do it again. Like Apostle Mike says, if somebody tell you no, then you asked the wrong person. Let me go back and try it again. I don't like I say, I'm not going to compare myself. If I fall short, if against somebody else, if your stick is shorter because you compared yourself to somebody else, go get you another stick. Is what I say. It's no longer my stick is shorter because I don't compare now. When I go into a room, before I would feel intimidated, like, I mean, because the Lord would open doors. I would go in place like, why am I here? These people they have 10 degrees but now it's like, I'm supposed to be here. So I go in there like I'm coming to take over. I may not know anything. I may not know anything about the subject, but I'm going in like I'm coming to take over because it's the confidence that the Lord has given me, knowing that He's a great God and He fearfully and wonderfully made me. Why should I not shine?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to stop me from shining? So even the days like when I was talking about when I was young and living in near, you might as well say in the projects, living right there.
Mm-hmm.
Who would ever think that I could go? People don't think like they can get out of that. Like you can transition. I was there. I know what it's like. My dad lost his job and to have the welfare peanut butter with the oil like this thick on the top. When you open it, you might not know nothing about it, Pastor Rodney.
No, I know.
When you take the lid off, the oil is like this thick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hard cheese, like you can bust somebody upside the head with it. I mean, really whoop them pretty bad with the hard cheese. So to go from that to I'm sitting on an interview with you,
Mm-hmm.
but it all started because first of all, I had to change my stinking thinking. I had to believe what the word of the Lord said about me. I had to believe it. I had to wear it. And then I had to invest in myself because faith without works is dead. You can say I have faith all day long. And you're looking for a job and you don't fill out no resume. You don't call nobody. Just like, let the rain fall from heaven, Lord. Let it fall down in my lap. Well, 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen. You're going to be unemployed and you're not going to have money. So, yeah. So we just need to trust the word, whatever the Lord says for us. We need to grab it and hold on to it and give ourselves an opportunity. If we don't want to say invest in ourselves, how about giving yourself an opportunity? You've made everybody else rich. You supported everybody else. You run into every conference. You buying every book and buying every shirt. And here your stuff not even started.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even working on your stuff. You're just thinking about it. And so perhaps maybe you're just daydreaming. You don't have a dream. Because a dream is going to get you off the sidelines, headed to the finish line. But a daydream will keep you sitting on the sidelines eating popcorn and watching everybody else run their race. That's what daydreaming to do. So you have to decide, are you daydreaming or are you dreaming? If you're daydreaming, it's going to sit on the sidelines, keep eating your popcorn, and maybe think about one day getting it. But if you're dreaming, you're going to get off the sidelines and you're going to get in the game. Because you can't score a touchdown. I'm not saying I know so much about football, but you can't score a touchdown unless you get in the game. Unless you play the game. You got to get in the game. You got to go hard in the paint if you really want to make that score. But you're not going to do any of that if you don't invest in yourself, if you don't give to yourself, you don't take the time to work on you. So really tonight is about, I know it's living my dream, but I'm saying you can live the dream if you work on you and be consistent. I think when people hear invest, they think, oh, it's going to take a long time for me to get my return back. It's because probably before they invested in something, they lost some money.
Mm-hmm.
But when a farmer plants a seed, he does not throw the seed in the ground, put some, and go out the next day and expect to have a watermelon. You planted a watermelon seed, and you go out the next day looking for a watermelon. Well, you got to work the process. So maybe it's going to take you some time away from Netflix, and maybe it's going to take you some time away from going out with your friends. But you need to take the time. You need to take the time because 24 hours is almost gone. I love Mary say 24 hours is every day you start. When you wake up, it's almost gone.
Mm-hmm.
So if not now, when? If not now, when is it going to be the time that you get in the game? When is it going to be the time that you get unstuck? And when is it going to be the time you stop making excuses? Because excuses are crutch. It's easy to make an excuse because you could just, go on about your day. Well, I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna let you get back in there.
No, you are good because the comments that people are giving you, they are absolutely fire. They are loving what you are saying. I'm loving what you are sharing with everyone because that's what it's about. And of course, Brandon's your biggest cheerleader. He is my nephew, and he did say this. He said thanks, Ma, for no government cheese. That's what he said. That's your son. That's your son. But no, I'm just enamored with you discussing this process because the reason that this particular show, because to be honest, I never thought that this would be something that I would do. And then I talked with my PR person. My PR person told me I needed to be doing this. And so we talked about, and once again, something we talked about a long time ago before it even stepped in. And COVID-19 just gave me a better way to launch it because no one had to travel to come to the studios. We now know that we can sit in our dens, our bedrooms, and whatever, and we can do an effective talk show. By doing that, it's training us that we could do some things to share that. But this whole thing about living the dream is I wanted to highlight and showcase people who actually went the next step to begin to live their dream. It's not necessarily about living someone else's dream. It became about living your dream because you said it. Your book helped people get unstuck. That's what it helped them do. And a lot of people are stuck because and there's nothing wrong with 9 to 5 because we all do it. But what are we doing beyond the 5? Is so important to be able to get this thing forward. So I mean I'm getting this, and when you talk about the project stuff, I'm getting that too. I'm from the country. I'm from the east side of Baltimore City and so forth like that. But where we started from, and just listening to your story is just a reminder to me, where we started from is not where we got to end up. It's up to us. So, I mean, you're sharing this because really everybody tonight is getting one of your coaching sessions. That's what they really are. So let's talk a little bit more about this investment, because what a lot of people don't realize is the amount of, and when you hook up with a mentor, because I'm not your only mentor, and I'm very proud of it because your other mentor is one of my mentors. So we just kind of, but let's talk about if you do the right thing at the right place and God positions you with the right person. Let's talk about the favor you find with the mentor.
Well, first of all, I what I found is my trajectory has been accelerated because I took the time to invest. Even with you, I went from not having a book, not being a a success coach, not hooking up with Tressa because of you, because you were my mentor. You taught me to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do one thing, but there are many gifts within you. So When I invested in myself and hooked up with a mentor, it accelerated the process. So Tressa, who you were talking about, Tressa Ozarell Smallwood, she's a movie producer, award-winning movie producer. Right now, she's got 4 projects for BET that she's working on. Uh, I signed up with her because I said I want to write a movie. I mean, I want to be, and because I said I did, it opened up. I took her script writing class. I've been to the DMV Film Festival. I was able to pitch my information to TV One and BET. That's acceleration in favor. There are people that have scripts for 5, 10 years and have not gotten it off the ground. And I was able, because of my connection and because I, invested in myself. I listened. That's key. You don't know it all. I knew I didn't know it. I
Mhm.
didn't know
Mhm.
nothing about script writing. Trust me. I knew. I was like, why am I even in this class? These people talking all this foreign language. I don't know what this. I don't know what a log line, and I don't know what a script. I don't know any of that. And this has only been a little over a year,
Mhm.
and now I have like almost 8 projects. But because it's not. I'm doing anything greater than anybody else. Everybody has the opportunity. Will you take advantage of an opportunity? A lot of times we keep missing the opportunity. And then we want to sit back and look and maybe feel some kind of way about that person. Like, well, she's doing this, and don't get mad at people. Don't hate, participate. If you're going to do anything, participate. So it's very important to have a mentor. It's very important to listen to the mentor, and I guarantee you, your process will be accelerated. Because mine was accelerated. In 2 years, I've gone to have a book. I've written screenplays. I have a success coach. It's just been phenomenal. It's been. I sometimes I just stare in space like, how did I get here? Like, how did I meet these people? How did I get in a room with these people? But I know it's because I changed the way I thought about myself.
Mhm.
When you change the way you think about yourself, nobody you're unstoppable. I consider myself unstoppable.
Mhm.
I could, it's not a bragging way. It's like, you can't block me. You can't stop me because I'm working with something. First of
Mhm.
all, I got the backing of the Lord behind me. What can you do? You can't do nothing to me. You can't do anything to me. So I feel like there are no limits. My friend Angelique, amazing Angelique, has a publishing company called No Limit Publication. I feel like there are no limits. Whatever I decide to do, I first tell the Lord about it, make sure I'm on the right trajectory, what He has me to do, and then I just go for it. You know, no, I don't always qualify for the stuff that I'm telling you about. I'm telling you, I didn't know anything about a script. I didn't know anything about screenwriting. So you don't have to know. All you have to do is make the effort. All you have to do is, when the opportunity comes, take it. Instead of saying, uh, I don't qualify for this job. I don't have all the education that everybody else has. I don't have all the skill work that everybody has. Somebody's going to get the job. Why shouldn't it be you? Why shouldn't you take the chance? This is what I'm saying. Take the chance on you. Take the chance. You take the chance on everybody else. Take the chance on you. Put yourself on the list. In my book, it talks about putting yourself on the list of very important people. We got everybody else on the list, and we are nowhere to be found. We're somewhere off in la la land. I don't know what we're doing, but we got to get in the game. We got to get back in the game. And one of my chapters in my book talks about getting off the ground.
Mhm.
And I talk about how the starting point for the caterpillar is the ground. That's the starting point. But his sights are on soaring like a butterfly. But he started as the caterpillar. So you got to start somewhere, but you don't have to stay. He is not going to stay a caterpillar the rest of his life. But he started on the ground. He worked his way to the cocoon and all the process. There was a process. But look, he becomes this beautiful butterfly. He can soar. Looks like no other creation. But he started on the ground. So maybe your starting point, you probably say, well, I don't have, well, maybe your starting point is nothing. But start anyway. Start, even if it's, you think it's lower than everybody else, still get started. Work the process. If you be consistent and you work the process, you're going to have some success. You're going to have some kind of success. You can get back in that
No,
circle.
I was going because I believe you still sold yourself short on one that you have a project also in the making for being a children's author.
Oh, yes.
What you-
Yeah.
see, we have Lori and I have check-in calls just to see
Yeah.
what we're working on, what you're doing, how things go. And when she sent me that, okay, that got fired up in me because our children are sponges when they're small. How about we the one that take charge to take the mechanisms to begin to tell a story so we don't have to hear someone else's story about you got to go through the projects in order to make it. Our seed will never understand our life, which is good.
Right.
But in that particular case, what brought on even the wanting to do the children's project?
I was, I'm a new grandmother. I have two grandchildren that are both at the age of one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was visiting my grandson and I wanted to read a book to him. And when I went to the bookshelf, there were no books that looked like him. There was no one on the book that looked like him. I said, and it wouldn't go away. Like I woke up thinking about, I got to write a book. I got to write a book for him so he can see himself in the book. So he can see himself great. So he can see like I can do anything, So that's how it came out. It was because of you when you always say that if you can solve a problem,
Mm-hmm.
you can you can be successful. And I said, well, that was a problem for me when because I remember being in school. There were no books. There was no one in the book that looked like me. There was Jane, there was Dick, and I can't even think of, but I always remember Jane and Dick. Those were the little blonde hair, blue eye. Nobody looked like me. So, we have, we was conditioned. There was a lot of things that was worked against us. And so I wanted him to start like see himself like I'm just as great as Jane and Dick. There's nothing wrong with Jane and Dick, but now it's Jane, Dick, and DJ. That's my grandson, Jane, Dick, and DJ. So I saw a lack, and I said, no, I got to write a children's book. So hopefully by the end of the summer or the fall, because I'm still working on my scripts, that I will be coming out with my children's book.
Now, I want to throw this out to everybody that's listening to you right now. I want them to know you're doing this while you're doing your 9 to 5.
Yes.
Someone who may try to make an excuse, well, that's easy for her to say, I've still got to work my job. I just wanted them to know that all of this has been done through. And here's what I call you. This is what I've called a job. I call a job a resource to help pay for this stuff.
Right.
So I wanted to interject that in there for someone that would try to use as an excuse their 9 to 5 to say that you're doing this through your 9 to 5. And you
exactly. And
you are a wife.
Go ahead.
You are a wife, a grandmother, a minister, a server. You do all those things. Yeah. So since you're doing all those things, you're not letting your investment go to waste.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said something about this pandemic, because what I discovered, even with this COVID-19, that I got more time back. Because, when you go to work, you got to get up, and my bus is like 5 something in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
So, you have those, transitioning to work, coming home from work. And I found out when I was working from home, and I worked from home anyway before the pandemic, but I thought I'm having like a couple of more extra hours, and I couldn't figure out how, because I did work from home before the pandemic. But what I discovered was I didn't have an assignment for my time. I didn't assign it. You have to give your time an assignment. So when I started doing that, I started having more time, even though I work 9 hours a day. I started like, okay, from this time to this time, I need to do this. And from this time to that, I need to work on my script. And then I need to work on my book. So give your time an assignment. Give your time an assignment. And you'll see that you'll have more time to do some things. Because I'm also working on my Shinspiration workshop, which I call the Shinspiration Zone. And so that's going to be a inspirational, motivational workshop. And it's supposed to be at the end of the month, but it's private because I was invited by a church. So, and it's just their church. But I would love to take that on the road, because it's just encouraging people to self-development, to develop themselves, to look on themselves and know that they are valued, and look at why you're not shining like you were meant to be. Because if you're not shining, and we're supposed to be shining, then we need to fix it. We need to locate ourselves so we can shine and be the best. Because my whole motto is shining and becoming the best expression of your gift. First of all, give yourself permission to shine. It's okay. Give yourself permission to shine and become the best expression of you. That's my total theme, motto, whatever. I want to encourage by motivation and inspiration for you to give yourself permission to shine and become your best expression. Nobody knows what that is but you.
Now, I want you to help, and let me sit back because it's a little feedback in my mic, but I
Okay.
like to lean in sometimes. It's me, it's not you.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Talk to those that might be listening. See, you knew specifically what you wanted to do. We because not only did you write down your goals, but we talked about your goals. And so when we talked about your goals, there was something for you and I to keep an accountability to. Now, you were very specific in knowing what you want, and that's what led you to the mentor that you need, the mentors that you needed, to the assignments that you needed, to the investment you had to need. What would you say to someone else whose assignment may not exactly be what yours was, but they know they're supposed to be doing something other than what they're doing right now? How would you suggest for them to, number one, discover, and then to begin to implement what they discover?
First of all, I think they should write down what they gravitate to, what excites them, what maybe keeps them up at night and they dream about, and if they didn't get paid to do it, that they would do it. I would say start there. If you love something so much that if you didn't have to get paid to do it, and you can afford to do it without getting paid to do it, you would do it. So first I would just say, write down those things, that you keep going back to. You thought about it when you were younger, and you put it on the shelf, but you never forgot about it. It's in the back of your mind. Maybe you want to be a ballerina, but maybe you feel like you're overweight now. Well, maybe you can't be a ballerina, but maybe you could be some other kind of a salsa dance. I mean, if dance is in you, you know what I'm saying? If dance is in you, that doesn't mean maybe you can't be a ballerina now, but maybe be the salsa dance or whatever. But those things that, like I say, that you constantly think about. Like I would always have these ideas in my head. I would always have these ideas. I didn't know what to do with them, but they would just be in my head. Like, and sometimes I would probably get on people's nerves or whatever, if there's a such thing as getting on your nerves. But because it sounds crazy to people that are not creative. If you're not in this world, it sounds, because I'm like, but I would, have all these stories, and I tell these stories, and like, where you get that from? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're so dramatic, and but that was me being well, I call myself a square peg in a round hole. But what I'm saying, you should, whatever you feel that, like I said, that you gravitate to, and talk, listen to some, look at some YouTube stuff, and go. There's some online about everything. You know, you know, if you interested in music, go to YouTube or something and look at how to play the piano, if that's what So I think first of all, you need to write down those things that excite you, that motivate you, that you could see yourself doing if you didn't have the word about pay. Cause and I can only use myself because I was like, I always wanted to be like a motivational speaker because I was always encouraging people. I used to say, y'all gonna pay me for this. Because I used to always motivate people, and people would gravitate to me. And but that's what and you'll see, because it'll start coming to you. When you start putting it out there, like what it is that you want, it'll start coming to you. You'll start seeing, hey, that's kind of what I want to do. Or, hey, he's doing. And if you see somebody, the next thing, if you see somebody that's operating in that gift, follow them, follow them on Instagram, or, reach out to them and say, can I shadow you? Do you mind, would you be my mentor? Or how can I get in your program if you see somebody that's doing what you want to do? Because there are so many motivational speakers. Like, I love Les Brown and all those people. I love Miles Monroe, even he's a preacher, but he's all, to me, a motivational. Listen to those people and see if that resonate with you. And then, talk it out with somebody. Next, just get with somebody and like-minded somebody.
Mhm.
Not somebody that's going to stop you or block you from being where you want to. Get with somebody, and it may not be in your little circle. It may not be in your group. Like a lot of people that I have met recently, they were not in my initial group, but they are creative. So when I got in that world, I was like, I'm home. Like it was freedom for me, because I knew people didn't understand me. But when I got in this creative world, it was freedom. Like, wow, I can say weird stuff and people like, oh yeah, that's good. Or yeah, I get that. Or, they were, yeah, do that, encourage. So when you get around those group of people, you'll know it, because you'll feel at home, and going back to being that square peg in a round hole, stop it. Stop being the square peg in the round hole, because if you start trying to fix yourself to fit in the round hole, you're going to cut off some of the very important things. You're going to miss some stuff. You're going to lose yourself trying to, like, I was like losing myself because I wanted to fit in. I didn't want to be the person that's dramatic and people like, you're weird or whatever. I didn't want to be that person. So I wanted to be in the round hole. I wanted to. So that means that I don't want to say dumb it, but dumb it myself down.
Mhm.
Hopefully it's a better word for dumbing yourself down. But I was not I say it this way, I was not the best expression of myself, because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be like everybody else. If they were going right, I wanted to go right. They were going left, if they wanted to look a certain way, I wanted to look that way. But I never fit, because I was a square peg. I wasn't a round hole. And it's okay to be the square. All you square pegs, it's okay to be a square peg. You do not have to dwindle yourself, hide your shine to fit in with somebody else. If you have to do that, then find you some more friends. Find you another group of people where you can shine, where you can be a square peg. It's all right. That's just like if you are a kid, say you're a cat and you're in the barnyard and there are roosters. This is the equivalent. You are or no, you are a rooster, and here's a kitten. You the rooster, you supposed to be crowing, but you meowing. That's the equivalent. You should be uh strutting yourself all around the barnyard, letting them know you're in charge, but you meow because you want to be like the cat. You know, you changing your whole way of life because you want to be like the cat, because everybody else is a cat and you the only rooster. So that's the equivalent. Be yourself. And if people that you're around do not allow you to do that, that they will damper your shine, you need to find you some new friends.
I concur with that 2,055% in what you were saying, because what I've discovered is that some people want you to remain in a box because it helps them not go above where they're supposed to go. So they want to contain you because that's how they contain themselves. Listen, we have 5 more minutes, and I want you to use the last, well, 5 to 7 more minutes to use the last 5, 7 minutes to number one, discuss how they can become find out about your future events. Number two, if anybody wants to book you to be able to share on their platform concerning self-development and growth. Wow. I have a person who said, I will go and buy her book because I know Rodney Middleton. And I love this guy. I met him in World Changers with Dr. Dollar, and he's been a friend of mine ever since. I love he and his darling wife and support them immensely. But in this process of why they would need your book, how they could book you to be on their platform, what platforms will you be a part of, during the summer, at the end of the summer, and last but not least, how can they connect to you on social media, and what's your social media handles that they can connect to you with?
Okay, I think I'm gonna start from the back and work my way up.
That works. That was a lot.
I might have to ask you again.
That's all right.
My social media platform, Facebook is Lori Conway, Conway Ray. I am on Instagram at Lori Ray Shines, and I'm on Twitter as Lori Ray Shines.
Wow.
So those are my three social media.
So follow her, connect with her on her social media handles. Definitely do that. Okay. Once again, let them know. And this is Nisi Poo that said this. Give them your favorite day or chapter from the book, and then let them know why they should go get it just because of that chapter. I know they all your favorite, but the one that maybe stick out with you a little bit more.
I think what I was talking about, it's on page 106 of my book. It's called Get Off the Ground. Get Off the Ground, where I talk about the starting point for the caterpillar is the ground, but his sights are on being a butterfly. Work the process. Get to be the butterfly. Don't just stop as a caterpillar. If you stop as a caterpillar, no one will ever know the glory of you being a butterfly. If you just stop right there, you're functioning, but you're not the best expression of yourself. So get the book so you can be encouraged to become the best expression, shine and become the best expression of yourself. The world is waiting. We need to see you. And don't leave this earth with my stuff. If you have something that you're supposed to bring to the world, don't leave the world without giving me my stuff.
I love it. What else? What was the other one I put in there? I think I forgot it was that that were there. No.
You said, why should I get the book, my social media outlet, and I think you said other platforms.
Right. How if they want to book you, how can they book you?
Just how about DM me at Lori Conway Way on Facebook.
Awesome.
On Messenger. That'd be perfect.
Awesome. Because let me let you know something. A lot of times in this pandemic, this is an ideal time to build virtual conferences. We have a virtual talk show. We have a virtual campus for our church. It's a great opportunity to build your virtual business and so forth. And so here's how you build virtual business. I use this platform to bring other people on to expose them to the world, and is what I use. And so I want people to connect with you. because someone just asked a question. It says, do you have a platform where you mentor others? So you do have something that you're putting together that you were talking about, coaching. Someone's asking about that on here, that they want to know about your platform that you mentor others.
So I am working on something right now. So stay tuned. Follow me so you can find out when I'm done. So it's called the Shine Zone. That would be my workshop, inspirational, motivational workshop. And I'm working on my personal coaching. So just stay tuned. We're almost there. We're almost there.
I love
Thank you for inquiring.
I love it. But see, that's how we do these things. Because see, even now I have a new class that I'm working on that's going to be for a couple of weeks, that I took from my book, because I never thought. You ask my wife. I used to ask my wife when I first started ministering, how did I do, and then I would always do better in secular environments. When it came to training people, I did better in secular environments. I had no idea until I was exposed by Dr. Miles Monroe. He came to do a meeting with us, and I found out that Dr. Monroe made seven figures for one meeting. 7 figures for one meeting, and he literally said that once you develop your purpose and something, because I had an encounter with him on an elevator that I wasn't exactly dressed for the encounter, because I was going down to get my wife something to drink at the hotel. Who gets on the elevator but he and his darling wife, Dr. Ruth? And when they got on there, and the first thing he asked me, what was my purpose? I started telling him what I did. He says, no, that's what you do, but that's not your purpose. And he said, send me your purpose and I'll tell you what you're going to do. And I never thought that, and then I wrote the book, Overlooked Over Book, The Making of a Six-Figure Speaker. I never thought that people would pay me to hear me. When I first started talking, I didn't even like my own voice. Is what I didn't like, let alone the others. And so I have a new training talking about the platform, the purpose, and the provision. And it's all derived from this Overlooked Over book. But I'm only sharing that with you because you never know where you want to start at. I never thought that someone would invite me on platforms, invite me to different countries, invite me to different meetings, invite me to different churches to share those things. But I realized he gave me the platform because he gave me the message. Some people want the platform without having the message. And Minister Lori has the message. And that's why the platform is being revealed and exposed right now, because she has the message to be able to share this. And so take the information that she has shared with you this evening. By all means, this will be available on my website, but it'll be available on YouTube. It's up on YouTube. We'll get a link to her so she can put it on her YouTube page. So those, why? Because I want her to get her subscribers up and her views up from the broadcast. So you'll be able to look at that, because I promise you, I would go back and listen to a broadcast like this over and over again, because there were so many nuggets that she dropped. There were so many things that she shared, and her heart was being revealed and exposed. Especially if you hear her beginnings, you'll never make excuses about your beginnings. Because when she talked about that peanut butter that messed up the spoons and had the oil in it so quick, that the gummy cheese that broke mama them knives and all that kind of stuff. We had powdered milk, the dry powdered milk that you had to mix with the no brand cornflakes and so forth like that. And my daughter knows nothing about that. Well, that's because every generation is supposed to perpetually get better. And Brandon said he had to go because he had to take your granddaughter, is what he said. But he doesn't know anything, a lot of what his mother has revealed. No. He knows nothing about that because each generation gets better with what they're doing. And so living the dream for our seed will be different than living the dream for us. And it's going to go to the next level. So we're going to have these things that are going to be available, and she should have it within the next couple of days, by all means. And then we'll let you know when she's going to have her information out as far as the training and coaching is concerned. So in the final 2 minutes, why don't you leave everybody with a great closing thought, like only you can give?
I want to pay homage to Harriet Tubman. I want to pay, and I want to give something that she said, and I want to use this as my closing to encourage people to keep going, no matter the circumstance. No matter, don't look at the circumstance. Keep going. And I want to read this. I just happen to have this here. I want to read this. This is something that Harriet Tubman, we know she was the queen of the Underground Railroad, has she led all these slaves to freedom. And her life was in danger. But her assignment was to get the people to freedom. And so she carried out her assignment. So, and it says, if you hear the dogs, keep going. If you see the torches in the woods, keep going. If they're shouting after you, keep going. Don't ever stop. Keep going. If you want a taste of freedom, keep going. If you want to live the dream, keep going.
I love it. Listen, thank you all for tuning in to Living the Dream. I'm your host, Rodney Middleton, and our special guest this evening. We want to thank Minister Lori. We want to thank her for sharing her heart, her wisdom. Be sure to go to Amazon and get her book, or DM her. If I were you, I would DM her to get the book from her, because her autograph, and Dr. Miles Monroe taught me this, when I autograph a book, is not what the autograph is worth now, it's what the autograph is worth later. And he said that his signature, one signed book, was worth $400,000. His signature was. So if I were you, while the value is not low, but the cost is, I would go ahead and get an autographed copy of her book right now, and get with her. She'll tell you how to pick it up. But thank you. And the shirts, Born to Shine, get them for belated Mother's Day, something for her to rock out when she going to the market in this COVID-19 or something like that, that everybody knows that she's wearing a message. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the awesome comments and everything that you shared with her. I'm pretty sure she can go back and read them in on the Facebook Live. Is just thanking you all for doing that. And once again, stay tuned until our next broadcast of Living the Dream. And don't worry, you all, Minister Lori will be back when it comes time close to her meeting. We'll bring her on so she can pitch her meeting and expose her meeting to you all. So we love you guys. You have a great night. And always remember, we win at everything that we do because the greater one's in us. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.